It's no secret we've been getting less and less of Peak Piece over the years, but how much have we actually lost? 2,761 pages. That's the answer. But where does that number actually come from? Most people would immediately point to the ever-dwindling chapter count, which is understandable. It's an easy stat to get your hands on, and it's a shocking amount as well. Just take a look at it yourself. From 48 chapters year over year, all the way down to 32. Saying a third of One Piece is gone just feels wrong, yet it gets even worse. Because the last time we consistently got years with over 40 chapters was 2012. That's 13 years ago. And the last 5 years has brought us to a new low, only averaging 33 chapters a year. But to actually measure how many chapters we've lost, we need a cutoff point, a clear before and after. And anything other than the halfway point of serialization would seem arbitrary at best, so what date would that be? Well, rounding it to the most recent week, One Piece has been running for 10,147 days. Cut that in half and you land on May 25th, 2011, right after chapter 625. That means the second half of the series should have given us at least another 600, right? Instead, we've only gotten 522. That's 103 chapters missing. But as I alluded to earlier, the chapter count alone isn't enough. Those missing chapters would have needed to average almost 27 pages each to reach the number in the title. So to get the real answer, the page count is necessary. That's why I went through every single chapter in One Piece, all 1,147 of them, and counted every single page since 1997 to tell you that there are exactly 20,759 pages in One Piece. But that includes covers. And while I just made a whole video appreciating them, for now, we're focusing strictly on story pages, putting the average at 17 a chapter. And if that sounds a bit high to you, it would make sense, because not a single year since 2013 has hit that number. That's 12 straight years of below average chapters. Back in the day, getting 18 pages was normal. Now, we're lucky to see 16. And in 2024, the average dropped to 15 flat. Pair that with the lowest chapter count in One Piece history, and suddenly, the truth becomes crystal clear to you, like your Viola. With 2024 only having 480 pages, that means it just had 10 pages a week. You heard me right? Just 10. And this right here might be the most important stat in this entire video, because when you combine the declining chapter count with the shrinking page count, it gives you the clearest look at just how much One Piece we're missing out on, and it's a lot. Here's the thing. For the first 3.5 years of serialization, Oda didn't take a single break. Back then, page count per chapter and page count per week were synonymous, but those days are long gone. Now there's a 5-page gap between what used to be the same metric. If you only looked at page count per chapter, you'd think we've only lost about 3 pages. But in reality, it's closer to 8 pages a week. That's nearly half of One Piece, just gone. A bit saddening, to say the least. But now, we finally have everything we need to answer the question. How many pages have we actually lost? First, let's split the series in half, using May 25th, 2011 as our before and after. Then, add up the page count for every single year since 1997. And there you have it, 2,656 pages. Oh, that's not counting cover pages. Add them to the count, and you get the full number, the 2,761 pages we lost. But we're not done just yet. To illustrate the decline even further, I tracked one last stat, the page number every single chapter in One Piece ends on. And here's what I found. Only 33 chapters in the entire series have 19 pages or more, and every single one was released before 2011. That's right, we haven't had a single 19-plus page chapter in nearly 15 years. It gets even crazier when you remove the 2 latest chapters, which puts the date all the way back to 2005, over 20 years ago. On the flip side, the 12 shortest chapters, just 12 pages each, all fall within the last 400 chapters, and 7 of them were released within the last 50. That means the number of 12-page chapters has more than doubled in just the last year and a half. Oh, and here's a fun stat. Only 4 chapters in all of One Piece have unique page counts. Chapter 1 is obviously the longest at 51 pages, but it's the debut of the story. It had to be long, so let's ignore it. Chapter 6, sitting at 23 pages, doesn't have a cover page, but the title takes up enough space for me to argue it's closer to 22.75. Chapter 213 is fascinating. It's the only one outside the first 100 chapters to have a unique page count, and its 21 pages doesn't sound crazy until you realize 8 chapters have 20 pages, and 7 have more than 21, yet it's still 100% unique. And then there's Chapter 22, with 28 pages, 5 more than second place, 11 above average, and 3 times longer than the shortest chapter. No wonder I used it for the thumbnail. I spent the whole video explaining the title, so I had to justify the thumbnail too, right? Hi there, Profies here. I think this is my best video yet, though I just finished writing the script and have no idea how the final product is going to turn out. I still think I've reached the point of finally being able to ask for help. I've been uploading videos every single week for over 3 months straight to a non-existent audience. And yes, this is where the obligatory YouTuber e-begging starts. I'm currently down $230 running this channel, and if you liked the video and want to join me on my journey to become the king of the OP tubers, getting back to $0 an hour would mean the world to me. Though I feel a bit arrogant arrogant to expect anything in return for these videos. That might just be my crippling self-esteem talking, but who really knows? Still, just leaving a comment so I know an actual human being heard this would help me more than you could imagine, because it feels like I've been having a 3-month-long conversation with myself at this point. Let's stop the rambling. Bye.